What's up, everybody? Hello, happy Sunday. Hope everyone's doing well. This is Chef B here, your raw and plant based chef, your holistic health coach, and just all things health and wellness, I like to say. Uh, if you are new here on this live or just on this channel, please make sure that you subscribe so that you can get notifications on when we are giving you new content, we drop a new video, all the things. All right. Happy Father's Day weekend, happy Juneteenth weekend, or into Juneteenth weekend, all the good things that's coming up. I wanted to jump on here and talk about something that I think is probably a little sensitive, but I feel like sometimes we just have to have conversations that are a little scary and, you know, just might seem a little controversial. I don't think it's controversial, but just I think it's important to just chat about your own healing journey and just all the things that you're learning as you're growing so that you can help somebody else out. All right. So, um, the topic here is how I shifted these things in my diet and how it elevated my sex life. So, look, I am not going to be talking about my sex life today. But what I really wanted to talk about was some of the challenges that I've experienced. And actually, I've experienced these challenges for a long time and didn't realize what was happening. And when I shifted my diet, things just started to shift tremendously. So actually, I'm going to take you back. When was this? Probably 2018, 2019. I actually hurt my leg. I hurt my ankle. And as a result of hurting my ankle, um, I actually experienced some major issues with my knees and just all the things. So much so that when I went on a trip to Guyana, my home country, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. My knee was swollen. Just so much was happening. And I said, as soon as I got back to the United States, I'm going to go to a doctor. So I went to a foot doctor, and the foot doctor realized that I actually was dealing with a hairline fracture for months and didn't realize that I had the hairline fracture. So immediately they put me in physical therapy. They said you also need to go to a chiropractor because your body's just out of alignment as a result of having this injury for so long. And then what happened, I actually hurt myself and then re-hurt myself. So I just exacerbated the hairline fracture. So in all of that, I actually went to a chiropractor, beautiful chiropractor. And one of the things that the chiropractor offered as a service was something like nutrition testing. So if you've never done nutrition testing, it's actually really cool. It is a way of finding out the types of things that you should and should not be eating, just how your environment is impacting your body and the kind of stressors that it's putting on your body. So through that nutrition testing, and just so you know, nutrition testing is usually done by a sample of a piece of your hair or some, sample of your hair, and then some samples from your saliva. It goes off to a lab, it comes back, and when it comes back, it tells you the kinds of things that you're intolerant to or you might have a sensitivity to. For me, the thing that came back was white flour and wheat flour. That was the only two things that was in the panel that I really needed to avoid. Not that I was allergic to those things, but it created an intolerance. Intolerances are different than allergies because allergies kind of they affect the immune system. So if you think about like someone who has celiac disease, so celiac, someone who cannot do any kind of gluten, they're kind of allergic to gluten. And if they have any gluten from wheat or anything else, what will happen is they'll get very, very sick, right? Allergies affect the immune system, but what happens with intolerances, sensitivities actually affect the gut. They affect the gut health for you. And so for me, for a very long time, because I didn't know that I was dealing with this issue, what I would do is I would just basically be eating bread. I love bread. Now, the thing about intolerances is you can have that thing, but you can't overindulge in those things that you're intolerant to. Because if you overindulge, that's when you see a lot of the issues present itself, particularly in your gut, your digestive issues. So from the Caribbean, from Guyana, love bread, and eating a lot of bread over the years produced candida. And for those of you who've ever experienced candida, it's very itchy. There's a discharge that you actually would get, when you use the bathroom, just inflammation, just all the things. It's just very, very uncomfortable. And that's from eating too much sugar, too much wheat, too much flour. Because I mean, who doesn't love bread, right? Who doesn't love those things? And so when I found out that I was intolerant to those items, I actually was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really take it seriously, but those issues continued to, just continue to persist. And, one of the things that I want to say is that I think when we are having issues with our body, it's really challenging to come and wrestle with it, right? It's to decide, okay, this is actually happening. So you have to have like a acceptance that something is happening in your body and that you have to actually do something about it, right? And so for me, that meant that I would have to give up something that I truly, truly enjoy. Who doesn't love burgers, veggie burgers, wraps, pizza, pastries, just anything that's sweet, crunchy, buttery, whatever it is, those things usually have some kind of wheat, flour, product used to make them. And so for a long time, I was actually like, I'll be all right. I'll just have a little bit and I'll be okay. But those things that we talked about, candida, inflammation, just that itchy feeling that you're not your best, those things continue to persist. And just it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You don't want to be with your mate. You just don't want anyone to bother you when you're feeling discomfort, very uncomfortable, and you don't really know how to address it. And when you do address it, it persists again, right? Now I'll say this, that's what happens to me. There are women out here, people out here who are dealing with whatever challenge you're dealing with. I'm also older. I'm 50. And so hormonally, my body's changing. And so it may not be candida, inflammation in the gut that you're dealing with, but you're dealing with something. You're dealing with something. And sometimes the thing that you're dealing with is embarrassing. It's not something that you feel comfortable talking to with a mate. But it's so important to have those discussions because what happens is it starts to affect your relationship. It affects your love life and so much more if you're not honest about what's happening to you. And as a result, can create some tension, unnecessary tension and issues and suffering that you really just, if you're honest and you're straight up about what's happening, that person can actually help you to get on the other side of it. Okay. So if I'm trying to tell all of y'all out here, if you're suffering, you don't need to suffer. All right. You just need to be honest and you need to get clear about what it is that is going on in your body. And then you can actually do something about it. So I want to also add that I actually went back to school. I'm back in school. I'm back in school. I'm always learning something. But years ago, I actually have a holistic health and wellness certification as a health coach and decided that I wanted to go back to school to learn more about gut health because as a chef, health coach, a lot of the people are coming to me with gut issues. And so I am actively learning all about something called the microbiome, which is super helpful in really understanding the connection to your gut, your brain, just what's happening in the body. All right. So, just quickly, without getting in too deep into science, microbiome is the ecosystem of good and not so good bacteria, good and bad bacteria that governs the body. All right. And it's largely it's in the large and the small intestine. So people often say, based on the research, because a lot of the research is new on the microbiome, right? That most of your immune system is in your microbiome, it's in the gut, all right? And so what happens is when the microbiome is off, when your microbiome is just, it's not where it needs to be, you start experiencing that imbalance. We call it dysbiosis, all right? And a lot of us out here have dysbiosis, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you guys is you need to know what you are intolerant to. You can easily go to your doctor, or if your doctor can't help you with that, you can always go to, chiropractor or a holistic health and wellness practitioner that can help you to find out through nutrition testing the things that you are intolerant to or you have insensitivities to. Because more than likely, if you're eating foods that you have insensitivities to, right, or sensitivities to, I should say, then you might be just putting unnecessary stress on your system that you don't even know that you're putting on your system. All right. And so for me, white flour, wheat flour were those things that I was putting in my system on a pretty regular basis that was really creating a lot of imbalances in my gut. So, what did I have to do? I basically started by getting really clear about how I wanted to feel. All right. And so, no, it's hard because I love food. I'm a chef. I like to try new things. I like to explore with food. But what's been exciting about this journey is now I'm really talking more about gluten-free options and providing gluten-free options to my clients, so that we're taking out things that might be potentially issues for many people. So really moving to more of a gluten-free diet in my professional life and also for my own personal life has been very, very helpful. All right. So I got clear on what I couldn't have by really trying different things in small amounts and seeing how I felt. See if that itchy feeling, that inflammation, all of that discomfort that I felt would prop up again. And then at some point, I'm just like, you know what? I really don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel uncomfortable when I eat food and just the aftermath of eating those things. So I'm just gonna like just leave certain things alone. So for me, things like pizza, I don't eat pizza anymore. I don't eat there's this beautiful pastry that I absolutely love, but it has a lot of sugar, has fruit. It's delicious, but it's something that I really just need to leave alone. So a lot of pastries, pizza, things of that nature, I just really opt to just not even have it. All right. So just getting clear about what it is that you're intolerant to, what you have sensitivities to, and then releasing them. Have your opportunity to just enjoy it, one last time, and then just saying, look, this is not serving me well. I need to move on. I need to try something else. All right. I need to find something that's going to satiate me in the same way that this has satiated me, and that I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything. Like that's one of the challenges that a lot of people have when they're working to change their diet. But I think if you can focus on first, how do you want to feel? And really examining how you feel when you eat certain things, if it's good, if it's not good, and then just like really starting from there and then start looking for alternatives is powerful. So that's number one. Number two, really working on my gut health is super duper important. So some of the things that I've been including, some of you have seen on another video, I do a no chew day. So I start fasting on like Saturday into Monday so that I don't have to worry about, just kind of giving my digestive system a break, right? So that's really the goal of the no chew day. And really the other piece of it is discipline, really working on discipline. So in another video, I've talked about my no chew day and why I do that. So working on my gut health has been critical. All right. So in doing so, the other thing that I incorporate in my foods, in my diet, is things like kombucha. So a lot of fermented foods. Kombucha is a fermented beverage that you can drink, and it just helps to balance the microbiome, the gut flora. And so I don't drink too much of everything. I just kind of make sure that I include different kinds of foods that are going to support a really good gut health. And so kombucha is one of those things. Krauts are that's another good thing to have, like a veggie kraut, or some people might be familiar with kimchi. I include that. Yogurt. That's probably the biggest thing out of those three that I like. I do a yogurt that doesn't have sugar in it, because you're kind of defeating the purpose if you're eating yogurt and the yogurt has a ton of sugar. That's going to also throw off that gut flora as well. So I usually opt for yogurts that don't have any sugar in them, but they do have those active cultures, the bacteria that's good to help to, balance the gut. So making sure that you're adding in those kinds of foods into your diet was like critical, and for me. And I think just for everybody, we all are dealing with some kind of dysbiosis. So it's always good to just work on your gut. Um, in addition to that, things that can affect your microbiome is, we said, diet, but then your stress levels. So you really have to also manage your stress, the kinds of things that you're dealing with, because that's going to throw your gut off too. Making sure that you get enough sleep and rest, that's also important. And then physical activity. Those things all help to balance the gut. Helps you go to the bathroom when you're moving, when you are, working out and things of that nature. It's just super good for you. The other thing that I've started to include too is really finding an excellent supplement that has pre, post, and probiotics in them. And those things all do different things in the body. And in one of the supplements that I use, it actually releases different biotics at different times. So while people talk about probiotics, you actually need a full spectrum. You need all of it. You need the pre, you need the pro, and you need the postbiotics. Because really what you're doing is you need to have the prebiotic is going to actually set the tone. It gives your gut the things that they need to munch on that's healthy, so that it can actively produce the correct amount of bacteria inside of the gut that it needs to produce. All right. And it helps to balance, meaning, like, with your microbiome, you need to have good bacteria, and you also need to have a little not so good bacteria in there, right? But the whole thing is that ecosystem needs to be balanced. And so the prebiotic actually helps to give your gut the things that it needs to sort of thrive on, so that you're getting a really nice balance of all of those bacteria in the system. So it's really important to look for a great supplement like that that can capture all three of those things, so that you can really feel the benefits of just a balanced gut. All right. So those are some of the things that I've done. Now, as a result, I feel so much better. So some of the things we talked about earlier with candida and inflammation and those things have like disappeared. I drink a lot more water, and water is always a challenge, because when you're working hard, you're moving, you're losing water. So just really working to include water and flush the system out is something that I know many people struggle with, because you drinking water, you got to go to the bathroom wherever you are. It's just a lot. So we're all really trying to balance a lot in our lives to really be better. And one of the things I would say is, if you're in a relationship and you have a partner, let them know what your struggles are, so that they can support you on the journey. So if you're not feeling your best, let them know why you're not feeling your best, because if that's going to disrupt something that's going to happen with you guys intimately, a lot of times we might call it something else. We might say, oh, because you're embarrassed, you're saying something else is happening, when really it's something going on with you, and you may not have it all figured out, and it can impact the intimacy of your relationship. But what I'm saying to you is, let that person know what you're dealing with, so that they can support you on your journey. One of the ways that my family, my partner supports me is, I have my weak moments, particularly when they're eating differently than I do. They might bring some food in the house that I know I cannot have, that has wheat, that has, bread. They'll just say, you can't have this. It has wheat in it. That's the running joke in the house. And I'm like, okay, fine. So just hearing it from someone else who's on my squad helped me, because ultimately for me, I really feel like, as I'm getting older, I want to have as much fun and excitement, in my intimate lifestyle as much as possible. And I don't want anything to disrupt that. And when we have health conditions that we just let linger, it can really impact our intimate life. And it's like, why not address this thing? So going back to what I said earlier about how do you want to feel? Why not address it and try to deal with those things now, so that you can enjoy your partner, and your partner can enjoy you. Because when you're dealing with all of those other things, you're not able to fully enjoy the person that you want to enjoy. And so, like, that's my take on it. I'm just at a place in my life where it's like, I just want to really enjoy my life and enjoy, my family, and enjoy my husband and all of that. And I know that diet and these other things, I don't have it all figured out. I'm not going to get on here and say that I do. But I know that many of us are in our own way, and we're suffering because we just won't get out of our own way. Think about it like that. Like, I want to, or don't you want to enjoy your partner or yourself as long as you possibly can? And if there's some things that you have to release and give up so that you can fully enjoy and embrace that person, why not give up those things? So that's how I look at it. All right. You know, it's hard out here. It just is. It's so hard out here. But I do think that when you're on a health and wellness journey of your own, particularly, me as a health coach, a chef, all of that, I can really understand all of the things that people struggle with. And, it's real. I get it. I get it. But, decide. You have to decide what it is that you want, how it is that you want to feel, and just what kind of life you want to experience. And for me, I do want to, eat things that I enjoy, but then if it's coming at a detriment of me feeling a certain way and enjoying my intimate life in a certain way, it's like I don't even need to do that. That's not cool. So, anywho, that's what I wanted to talk about today. So, for me, I changed my diet. I got clear about what it is I can't have. And I just had to deal with that and find healthy alternatives to the things that I cannot have. I also included, for me, just in terms of this healthy gut and really trying to work towards having a healthy gut, incorporating gut health foods, probiotics, yogurts, fermented foods, kombuchas, krauts, things of that nature. Being mindful now more of my sleep. And sometimes sleep is a challenge because when you're hydrating throughout the day, got to get up at night and use the bathroom. But just really working on sleep, working on stress, working on making sure I go to the gym and work out, just really creating balance in my life. And so, I offer that to all of you. I hope that, those of you who see this video, you guys will give some good comments. I'm curious, what kinds of things are you seeing for you that's propping up that you're having a challenge addressing? Drop a comment on the video and let me know. Know also that because I'm working on this gut health piece, As a health coach, I can support you. I also did this so that I can support folks who I cook for, really think about some of the different kinds of foods I can offer them as a result of, this gut health piece. So I'm curious to hear from you all. What kinds of things are you dealing with that you feel, that you can share, and what kind of support you need? We're all getting older and our bodies are changing. And some of those things that our bodies are doing are a little scary. It's like a little like, whoa, what's happening? And you don't necessarily know who you can talk to about it. But I just think it's important that we just put it out there so that we can be better and we can really try to get the help that we need. All right. So y'all, that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Listen, if you are new to my channel, please make sure that you subscribe. We talk about a lot of different things on here, definitely about transitioning to a plant-based lifestyle. I do quite a bit of things on this channel. We have our podcast, Healing Me First. We show you all the wonderful foods that we're making when we're in the kitchen. And we show you how to really eat a plant-based and thrive in a plant-based lifestyle, definitely by not wasting food too, how we can repurpose foods as well. So I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to stay connected to you guys. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you all based on what we talked about in this live stream today. All right. So y'all enjoy your wonderful, wonderful Father's Day weekend, Juneteenth. I'm calling it Juneteenth week because there's a lot to celebrate. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. And, look forward to the next one. Now, we're going to be doing lives on Sundays around 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, guys, plug in so that we can chat about different things. And I'm also curious, before I jump off, what other things would you like to see videos about? I would love to know what kind of things you are interested in learning more about from me. All right. So please share that with me. And I'm going to jump off. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your weekend. And we will talk soon. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings.